Welcome to the Behind the Bench Sports Network. This is the Kobe Bryant Film Room. I would like to take this time to thank all of you, the subscribers, for tuning into our content. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notifications, man, so you can catch up on our content and get a notification every time we drop. Now, let's get into it. So, Caitlyn Clark finds herself in in a unique position, right? She's getting bullied, she's getting knocked over, um, she's getting manhandled. A lot of these WNBA players seem to be hating on Caitlyn Clark. They don't feel she deserves the shine that she's getting. They don't feel like she deserves the media attention she's getting. They don't feel like she deserves the endorsements she's getting. They don't think she's all that, right? And of course, you have the race angle that plays into that. What I want to say is this is how Caitlyn Clark can check all these WNBA players and get them off her ass, right? This is what you do. I want to start off with Kobe Bryant. You know, I'm the Kobe Bryant film room. And this is how Caitlyn Clark should take it. When Kobe first came in the league, his first couple of years, he was getting into a lot of altercations on the court. Guys were testing him. Guys were coming at him, trying to test his gangster to see if he really was about what he was about. And it wasn't necessarily about fighting. It was about mental toughness, and it was a good amount of physical toughness, right? To see if he would back down, to see if he would be punked, right? When you got players out there, right? Just speaking as a basketball, somebody who played basketball, his entire life, right? You got players out there, they're physical, they're not really highly skilled, right? They're coming at you. They understand that you're better than them on the court. What are they going to try and do? They're going to try and take the physicality route, right? They're going to try and impose your will. Think about it. The only way these players can really deal with you, right, is if they beat you up because they're not as skilled as you are, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to be aggressive to try and see if they can take that skill away from you by you cowering down to them mentally. So what Caitlyn Clark needs to do is she needs to start fucking fighting back, right? And I hear a lot of videos and people saying, oh, well, Caitlyn flopped, right? Or Caitlyn really didn't see it coming and she got knocked down and she got blindsided or whatever. That shit don't matter. At the end of the day, you knew you took a cheap shot. You knew you were hit. So when you come back down the court, what do? You deliver a fucking message. Elbow to the throat, elbow to the side of the ribs, elbow to the windpipe, right? You respond, right? And that's the way you deal with bullies. Somebody who's coming at you, who you probably talked to, had a back and forth, and you told them, hey, yo, chill out. Don't hit me like that. Don't touch me like that. There's only a certain amount of time you're going to allow somebody to keep doing the same shit to you, right? So this is a toughness thing. She's being tested on a mental level and a physical level to see where she's at. So these girls are going to try and bully her and intimidate her. She has to start responding, right? Now, you guys could say she could take the high road and all that shit. I do not recommend she takes the high road in this situation. Sometimes it's time to throw hands. Sometimes it's time to bust ass. Whether it's because she's white, whether it's because they feel like she's privileged, the reason doesn't matter. She's being picked on. That's obvious, right? She's being targeted. That's obvious. So all the race shit go out the window if I'm Caitlyn Clark. I don't care why you're beating me up. I don't care why you're jealous of me. You're about to catch this in the throat. And that's exactly what Kobe started doing. You guys could go all throughout YouTube and see stories of Kobe Bryant dealing with physical defenders, and Kobe hits them in their windpipe. He knocks them in his shit. He's usually the aggressive one. He hides his hand when he does it. When he doesn't like the physicality, I'll give you guys an example. Kobe was playing World Peace with Ron Artest. Ron Artest got pretty fucking mad. Why? Because Kobe took a shot to his neck. You get what I'm saying? Because he didn't like the physicality that Ron was bringing. And guess what? Ron got thrown out the game, right? So Kobe let it be known, and now Ron respects Kobe. You know what I'm saying? They had a situation where he didn't appreciate that shit, but these guys grow to respect you through you fighting back. No one respects somebody who's gonna be a coward and back off, right? So I hear a lot of people kind of babying Caitlyn a little bit, and that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. People gonna disagree with me. It's whatever. They're babying her a little bit because people want to see her succeed. Uh, there is a racism angle to where she is being unfairly treated, but people kind of go to the extreme. Yeah, that girl probably, whatever the case may be, is hating on her. Yeah, I agree, but now what? She gonna be on the court every time she has to play. There's gonna be somebody probably there to send a message. Now what? We can't hold her hand. She's gonna have to deal with this, right? She's gonna have to deal with this. All the crying and stuff is not gonna help it, and her ignoring it is not gonna help it neither. Oh well, I'll just play through it. Nah, fuck all that. You and people say, oh well, they're bigger than her and all that shit. Well, she needs to take martial arts. So there's something's got to give to where they're respecting how she coming, right? And I recommend that not only to Caitlyn Clark, anybody else who's coming in that is receiving a lot of jealousy, or people trying to deliver messages or whatever they're trying to deliver, right? All that shit go out the window when you hit a motherfucker in their throat. Excuse me. And that's just the way it is. That's just how the game is. That's just the sports, period. People are going to mess with you to get a mental edge over you, to make an example out of you. You have to be the one to say, no, I'm not going to be made an example of. You're not on my team. This isn't rookie hazing, right? And so Caitlyn has to stand up for herself. Point blank, period, end of story. Put the violins away, in my opinion. It's time for action. It's time to put a foot in somebody's ass. Now, I mean, you can take martial arts, you can take boxing, taekwondo, judo, jiu-jitsu, whatever you need to take to deal with this threat. And I'm not saying you have to hurt nobody or anything like that seriously, but you got to be able to make them feel a little sting. When kids do something, or somebody does something, they misbehave, you pop them. So, this girl Chennedy Carter should have been popped. She should have been dealt with by Caitlyn, or her teammates, which her teammates didn't do shit but laugh. I wouldn't have found the shit funny, to be honest with you, because we're in the foxhole together. I would think you would have my back. But anyways, you can't rely on other people to handle something you can do yourself. Now, Caitlyn Clark is highly skilled. She's highly talented. And she's supposed to be the savior of the WNBA, which I believe that she's bringing in a lot of money. These girls need to stop hating on her because they're going to fuck up their own bag, right? Which is incredibly stupid because they've been crying about how underpaid they are, and they've been crying about people looking at their league. Now that they're getting the spotlight on their league, they're hating on the person they're giving the spotlight to. So you don't get to choose, when you get the spotlight and how you get the spotlight. You should take that and use it as motivation to, hey, maybe I can make a name for myself. on the court, game by game. You know what I'm saying? Game versus game. Let me lock up Caitlyn Clark on national TV. You know, but all this pushing, I think they're dead wrong for what they doing. But guess what? They're gonna do it. Uh, it happens. Bullying happens in sports. It's nothing new just because it's Caitlyn Clark. And listen, I like Caitlyn Clark. I like Juju. Juju come in the league. I think the same thing happened to Asia Reese where she was clotheslined or whatever. She needs to defend herself. I like Juju. Juju needs to prepare and look at all this and say, I need to take some martial arts or something so I can be able to handle myself. Because that's how they coming. Sometimes it's not always going to be a basketball play. It's going to be some time where you might have to put your hands on somebody. You always got to be prepared for that. When you're trying to be an all-time great at the top of the people's list, this is what you're going to go through. You're going to run into this. People going to test you and see if you really built like that. And those who shy away will never reach that level. So Caitlyn's got to embrace it, stand up for herself. That doesn't mean she always has to throw hands. Maybe if they see that she's standing up verbally, they might not, do nothing. Or they might shy away. But she's got to be prepared to deal with it. You can't let people scare you off your position. Right? So Caitlyn Clark, if I was her, I'd get some dogs around me. I'd tell my teammates, say, look, if you ain't got my back, I know she ain't got the power yet, but you ain't got my back, you got to get the fuck out of here. I don't want to play with you. You ain't got my back. Period. And that's just the way I see it, man. This is just my thoughts and my ideas. Shout out to the bench crew, Rashad, JB, Kelvin, Big Dog Talk Sports. This is the Kobe Bryant Film Room, and I'm out. Peace.